Mm. Oh boy, oh boy. I am going to be forever young. Uh, um, I was hoping more people come in here because this is a quick one that you know I just wanted to share. Um, because if I don't today, I will definitely forget about it. Um, and I came up with a topic: capital is a spirit. That is, you must learn how to call it into your world. So basically, in this session today, you are going to learn how to blend metaphysics with economics, my way, my style. And in the course of the session, my eyes will be moving because I had to put down some small notes so that I don't forget what I have to say. Plus, the others will also be freestyle based on the experience and all that. So, I mean, it's a mixture of freestyling and some points written down. I had to do this real quick, otherwise I will forget. Um, so let's. Hmm. So, well, I don't think I would like to wait for people because I mean I have to get this off my chest real quick. So, like I said, part of it is freestyling, and part of it is a script that I wrote down. So I'll be going back and forth just so I don't forget things. Um, it's amazing the ideas you get when you are in the shower, eh? So today's live stream is called Capital is a Spirit, not money. Capital is a spirit. How to call it into your world. That is, it is imperative that you learn how to call capital into your world. Now, before I start with anything else, I want to make this clear. Um, per my experience and also per the some of the books I've written and all that, I can boldly say that there is a difference between there is a difference. I mean, money is different from capital, and capital is different from funds. Again, money is different from capital, and capital is different from funds. There are differences, and even within capital, there are two types of capital. So I'll explain. I'll go. This is just before I talk about today's topic. Now, money is simpler, simplest terms. Money is just chicken change. In this world, money doesn't do anything. I'm telling you. That is, if you want to do something very, very big, money really, really doesn't matter. Now we go to capital. There are two types of capital. Um, there is the capital we know, the normal capital, and there is smart capital. Now, the normal capital, the normal capital that we know, the normal capital that we know is just power that follows hype. Example, there is an AI boom, and the sort of, for lack of a better word, the sort of money I'll use money because it's simpler to understand. The sort of money that follows that hype, that AI boom is capital. Now, smart capital is just power that hype follows. Power that hype follows. Example is maybe there is a geopolitical play somewhere. Whenever, let's say, a sort of hype, someone else's hype follows it. That is what is called smart capital. Usually, there are only few people who can really turn capital into smart capital. There are few people who can do that. And the people who do that well, they do it very, very well. It's a skill, actually. Then finally, there is fund. Fund is just a combination of smart capital and capital. Funds is just a combination of capital and smart capital. And this is according to my own framework, the way my experience and the way I've seen things being around investors and all that. Now, to today's topic, which is capital is a spirit. Note, I didn't say money. I said capital is a spirit. That is it is imperative for us to know how to call capital into our world, especially to we the founders, the entrepreneurs, the business people, the industrialists, the enterprising ones who want to build industries and all that. It's imperative that you understand that there is a metaphysical meaning when it comes to economics, when it comes to capital. So again, in the course of talking, my eyes will be moving, back and forth because there are some. I'm saying this because I see some new people coming in and others going out. It's not stable, so I don't want anybody to miss anything. So I'll get to the point very very, very soon. Um, I've written down some points so that I don't forget what I have to say, but most of it I'll just be freestyling. So yeah, the live stream is called Capital as a Spirit. That is how to call it into your world. Now, this is what you have to get. This is the core premise, and we have already started. We have started. This is the core premise. Capital isn't. No, I'm not wearing eye contact. These are my real eyes. Capital isn't just money. It is a metaphysical force that is responsive to structure, identity, and energetic clarity. Um, that is in this stream, you are going to know how to summon or call capital by aligning your internal wiring, cultural magnetism, and strategic positioning. Again, capital isn't just money, it is a metaphysical force responsive to structure, identity, and energetic clarity. And this stream is going to teach you how to call or summon capital by aligning your internal wiring, cultural magnetism, and strategic positioning. This is what you're going to get out of this session. Simple and short. Now, these are the points I wrote down so that we go according to the first. We're going to talk about capital as consciousness. Capital is consciousness. 2, the metaphysics of magnetism. 3, the internal wiring, which is capital infrastructure. 4, cultural gravity and world building. And lastly, strategic invocation. Now, for um, for the first parts, I'm going step by step. I don't want to forget things. For the first step, which is capital's consciousness, you have to know that capital is not neutral. Capital is intelligent. It flows toward clarity, toward conviction, and toward structure. Um, a very favorite quote of mine is capital that doesn't chase confusion, it seeks sovereignty. Now, to the metaphysics of magnetism. Now, this is where you have to know why your aura matters more than your pitch deck. Here, you're going to know how to become a gravitational node in the capital network. And here, you're going to know about uh, you're going to know about your energetic hygiene, your frequency calibration, and your identity coherence. I said, are you the next Malcolm X? Well, I do believe that I am far more advanced. I believe. I always say good things about myself because words are magnetic. Now, third, the internal wiring, which is equal to capital infrastructure. You're going to know why your beliefs are pipelines. Just like as I did here, your self-concept is the architecture. You are going to rewire scarcity loops. You're going to install sovereignty protocols in your head. And this, my favorite mantra here is I am the territory capital seeks to inhabit. I am the territory capital seeks to inhabit. Now, for the cultural gravity and world building, yeah, you're going to know. Yeah, you're going to know how to. Sorry, why culture is capital's favorite playground. How to build a world people want to live in, and capital will fund it. And here you're going to learn about the myth making, brand as nation, aesthetic as infrastructure. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. When we start, you get it. It all come together. And lastly, the fifth point, which is strategic innovation, invocation. That is where you actually summoning capital as a spirit. Here you're going to know how to signal capital through structure, not desperation. You're going to know the languages to use, alliances, and the rituals. The rituals, again, rituals. Anything that has to do with spirit has to do with the rituals. It is as simple as that. And the rituals that summon capital. And you're going to close it off by saying, you don't chase capital, you become the condition for its arrival. Again, this live session is about capital being a spirit and how to call it into your world. Capital is a spirit. It isn't just money, it is a metaphysical force. Again, it is a metaphysical force responsive to structure, identity, and energetic clarity. Simple as that. Now, let's move on. Again, these are the points I wrote down. So these are the points I wrote down. So I just want to keep up with it so that I don't forget things. Now, I think we start now. Now, tonight we are not talking about money, like I said. We are talking about capital as a spirit. Again, I want you to understand this. Capital is a spirit. Capital is not money. It is a spirit. And anything that has to do with spirits requires rituals. It requires you understanding how to use the right language. It is metaphysical. So you have to understand these things. It is imperative you do. Capital is a spirit, it is a force, it is a presence. And how to call it into your world, well, you have to really know it, like I keep saying. Now, if you have been chasing capital, that is pitching, begging, or even hoping, you are playing the absolute wrong game because capital doesn't respond to desperation. It responds It responds to structure, clarity, and magnetism. Again, capital doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to structure, clarity, and magnetism. Simple as that. Now, we, as like I said, I jotted down some points. So we start with the first point, which is capital is conscious or capital is consciousness. Here, capital is not neutral. No, it is never neutral. It is intelligent and it is selective. It is intelligent. Let me just kick this uncultured being off. Again, when you decide to do things, there'll always be someone who is sent by. Anyway, so yeah, like I was saying, capital is not neutral. Capital is intelligent. It is selective. It flows toward sovereignty, not noise. Think of capital like water. It doesn't climb mountains. It fills valleys. It seeks containers. And you as a human being or as a spirit in a human being, you are the container. That is if you know the right things to do. Now, if you are if your internal wiring is chaotic, unclear, or unworthy, or even full of scarcity, capital will pass you by. It's as simple as that. Not because you are not talented, sorry, but because you are not properly structured. It is as simple as that. Now, with this, we move to the second point. Again, I don't want to miss the point, so I keep looking at the point so that I expand on it. The second point being magnetism over mechanics. So the thing is, you you don't chase capital, you become the condition for its arrival. and that is magnetism, not marketing, not even manipulation. Magnetism is the energetic clarity that says, I am ready, I am structured, and I am sovereign. So here you have to ask yourself, is your identity coherent? Is your vision sharp? Is your culture alive? Capital doesn't fund confusion. No, it funds clarity. So if you're someone who has clarity on what to do next, you know, someone who has clarity, you pretty much will attract capital into your life. Now, I'm moving to the next, the third point, which is your internal wiring equals infrastructure. Now, your beliefs are pipelines. Your self-concept is the architecture, in the sense that if you believe capital is scarce, if you believe capital is hard to find or get, or reserved for others, many of us have that mentality. If you believe that capital is scarce, you have already blocked the flow. Capital isn't coming to you anytime soon, sooner or later. It is as simple as that. Now, what you need to do is you have to rewire. You have to install new protocols. You have to speak this aloud. My mantra I use is I am the territory capital seeks to inhabit. Again, I am the territory capital seeks to inhabit. And here you do not need more hustle. All what you need is more alignment. I hope the few of us who are here are actually listening, because this is a very crucial, it sounds like a joke, but it's a very crucial skill to master, you know. So with that, we move to the fourth segment, or the fourth point, which is culture as capital's playground. Culture is capital's playground, actually. Culture is not here. Culture here is not decoration. It is it is infrastructure. Your aesthetic, your language, your rituals. Like I said, anything that, since capital is a spirit, sp- since capital is a spirit and spirit has everything to do with rituals, it means capital has everything to do with rituals. It's as simple as that. And here, your aesthetic, your language, your rituals, they they all create gravity. Gravity that capital loves. Gravity that attracts capital into your world. Now, capital wants to live in worlds that feel alive, that are coherent, that have structure, that have clarity, that are magnetic, that have no chaos. So here you have to build a world, not a business, a world people would want to live in. And capital, evidently, or should I say inherently, will fund that world. Now, to the last point, and we are almost ending this real quick because I just had the idea outside and I didn't want to forget it. Now, the last point is the strategic invocation. That is the strategy you use to call capital. Here is the most, I wish I had like thousands of people here so that they actually listen to this thing free of charge. This is the strategic invocation to actually call capital into your life. The exact, or should I say, the exact strategy to call capital into your life. So we talk the strategy. Now, if you want to call capital into your world, here is exactly how. Again, I wish I had many people here so that they just take this information. If you want to attract capital into your world, here's exactly how. First, have clarity of vision. Know exactly what you are building. First, have clarity of vision. Know exactly what you are building. Second, cultural magnetism. Here, it means make your world irresistible to capital. Cultural magnetism, that is, make your world irresistible to capital. Third is structural integrity. Build systems that can hold wealth, or that can hold capital. And fourth, energetic hygiene. Remove desperation, remove scarcity, install sovereignty. Capital, once again, is a spirit, and it is always watching, it is always waiting to come to your world, and it is ready to move if you are ready to move as well. Now, on closing the ritual, this is how I want us to close it with. This is what we I want us to close it with, which is just a simple mantra. And here you can repeat after me. Capital is a spirit. I am its sanctuary. Again, capital is a spirit. I am its sanctuary. Now, this is pretty much the invocation of what you are building, what world you are calling it into. This isn't a stream, it is a signal. And if you have tuned in, well, you are already magnetic. That is the two of you here who are already here. And I just decided to share this with you because it is imperative that we all understand how capital works, understand that it is indeed a spirit. By just sharing this with you, which is energy, through my tank and my words, I have also activated it in my life because it is spirit. However, I wish there were more people here to watch, what was going on here. Maybe someday I'll retake this because it is important. It is imperative that we understand that capital is a spirit. Capital is not money. And the way to call it into your life is through ritual. Again, let me go over the rituals again, the actual rituals that you want to use if you want to call capital into your world. Again, capital is not money, capital is spirit. And anything that has to do with spirit is ritual. The powerful people understand these things, but for some reason, you see, there's nothing hidden under the sun. But sometimes the ego of people just won't allow them to pay attention, observe, and learn from what is working. Rather, we like to sit somewhere and complain. You get it? Yes. But the few who aren't complaining are actually the ones who are observing and also learning and getting results. Again, capital is a spirit, it is not money. And these are the exact strategies to attract them. First, clarity of vision. Know exactly what you are building. That is for those of you who are building businesses, enterprises, industries, whatever it is. First, clarity of vision. Know exactly what you are building. Two, cultural magnetism. Make your world irresistible. Because capital wants a place of peace, a place of clarity, a place of conviction, a place of sovereignty. It needs to be at a place where there's no confusion, a place that's irresistible. Third, structural integrity. You have to build systems that can hold capital. Many of us want capital, and all that, but we do not actually have the systems, or we haven't built the right systems to hold the container, to hold the wealth or capital when the capital actually comes. That is our problem. We keep complaining about, first, we don't like to observe things that work, and even when we do observe them, we don't build the systems or the containers that will hold these things we are praying for. It's like you praying for water, and you have no cap. When the water comes, you are not preparing to get a cap to collect that water when it comes. How else are you going to collect it? You get it? And the fourth ritual, or the fourth strategy in attracting capital into your life, is energetic hygiene. Here you are going to remove desperation. You are going to remove scarcity. You are going to remove anything that will repel capital. Many of us are working with the broken mental software of scarcity. We think things are always hard to get. We think things are reserved for only the smartest people, only the best people, only the blah 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 blah. That is total nonsense, actually. Capital is available for everyone to everyone. However, if you should take 9 people, you only get 2 people or even one who really understand how to build the system, both internally and externally, to really attract and even contain that capital or wealth they are praying for. It is as simple as that. There's nothing rocket science here. There is nothing new under the sun. The problem is we don't like to learn as human beings. We don't. We are not programmed to learn what works. And even when we do, our ego itself will not allow us, to do what is required. So please, I stress again, the 4 strategies or the rituals in actually calling capital. Again, remember, capital is spirit. It is not money. Capital is a spirit. It is not money. And anything that has to do with spirit is a ritual. Again, I wish we had more than 1,000 people on here. I wish, because this is very simple information that is right in our faces, but we do not sit down to actually peruse and understand, it very well. Again, the strategies in attracting capital are these. First, clarity of vision. Know exactly what you are building. Clarity of vision. That's the first one. Know exactly what you are building. 2, cultural magnetism. Make your world irresistible. Here it means create an environment where capital likes to be around, where capital be attracted to. You feel me? I mean, if the room you sleep in is dirty, is filthy and all that, by all means, you're going to attract, you're going to attract insects, or let's say, things you do not want. But if it's always clean, well, you repel these things. And third, structural integrity. Build systems that can hold wealth. It is useless to pray for wealth when you do not have the systems to hold the wealth when it comes. Many of us actually think we can handle wealth when it comes, but we can't, because we haven't built the systems to hold the wealth when it comes. It is as simple as that. Many of us actually think that we are we are capable of holding wealth, the wealth that we seek so much. We are capable of holding that wealth when it comes. But in true essence, we are not, because we haven't built the systems to hold this kind of wealth. And lastly, energetic hygiene. Here, you remove desperation, you remove scarcity, you remove chaos, you remove confusion, and you install sovereignty in your mind. It is all a mind game. It is metaphysics. It is spirit. It is a mind game. It is as simple as that. And here again, I say this again. Capital is a spirit. It is watching you. It is waiting, and it is ready to get into your life. Until you do the right things, it will never come to you. It will rather go to the best people who are doing the best things. So again, I leave you with this simple mantra. Capital is a spirit. I am its sanctuary. Again, capital is a spirit. I am its sanctuary. So there you go. I just thought about this in the washroom, and I wanted to share this before it leaves my mind, or before I forget. And I think I'll make this video be available on YouTube. It's been about 30 minutes. That was the plan. That was the goal. So I'll leave this, hanging on YouTube, and anyone who has access to it will access it. It's as simple as that. Again, capital is a spirit. Capital is a spirit. It is no money. It is a spirit. Thank you. Hmm. Mm, yeah, Roblox. Hi, what's up? What am I do? Well, I just finished talking about a topic that came to me outside, and I just finished talking about it. I call it capital as a spirit. That is, you should know how to attract or call or summon that spirit into your life. So I just finished talking about it. Yeah. So right now I'm just hanging around, and if anybody has questions, I answer them. Yeah. If it also helps, you can also peruse my profile and see what I'm about, and you will know exactly why I'm talking about what I am talking about. Yep. Mm, for for those of you who be, I mean, who, for those of you who have access to this video afterwards in future, a year or two of no from here, whatever it is, it's going to be available on my YouTube page, so you can always peruse later. Because trust me, this is evergreen content. It is evergreen information that we actually need to understand. You know, capital is a spirit. It is not just money. Um, in fact, capital is not money. It is a spirit. It is a metaphysical mental game. That only a few understand. And funny enough, as human beings, we like to complain about everything. You know, we don't like to learn what is actually working. You know, and even when we have to, our ego wouldn't allow us to learn what is working. So we, in turn, sit somewhere and wallow in our dismay, saying capital is only reserved for the rich, capital is only reserved for the smart, blah, 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 blah. Even sometimes I do it, I'll be honest with you. But as time goes on, um, I've been able to wipe that old mental programming, that mental protocol in my mind, and install a new one of sovereignty, a new one of clarity, a new one of conviction, a new one of precision, a new one of no chaos, no desperation, and eventually capital will come seeking you, come looking for you. Again, let me stress, it is imperative that whenever you are asking for capital or whatever you are praying or whatever it is for capital, you must have the right systems in place so that when it comes, the capital can stay in. Example, you are praying to make $100,000 per day, every day, and you do not have a business. How can you do that? Sure, maybe there are other ways of making $100,000 per day without having a business. But in this case, a business is the best container, the best system to be making that kind of money. It is as simple as that. You feel me? It is as simple as that. So you need to build systems. You have to build the right container that can carry that kind of thing that we pray for whenever it shows up. Because trust me, it always does show up one way or the other. But sometimes we are blind to see because we do not have the systems in play to attract or capture those systems. You feel me? So capture that wealth that we seek. So it is imperative for us to um, I have to start blocking some people. So it is imperative for us to have the right systems that attract and keep these things in our field. Yeah. Melodic Ranger, please let's be civilized on here, okay? Let's be civilized. Okay, so it's been 35 minutes past, and I just wanted to share this. And I think I should be doing this more often. I'll have, I think I'll whenever I have any of these ideas, I'll just pop up and just put it out there because there are certain information that people have to know about. That is if they'll listen. If they don't, then it is what it is. So yeah, with that, I say, stay safe, all of you, and good luck.